Hey everybody, happy Friday. Hope your week has been excellent. This week, am going to be working with fabric paint to show you a demo on painting a bag. Right now I'm just attempting poorly to stuff a puppy pad inside of it to separate the layers so that when I'm painting, it's not going through the entire bag to the other side. There we go. That's good enough. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do a big sunflower on this piece. So I'm gonna use a water-soluble pencil crayon first. This is a watercolor pencil crayon to kind of block out where I want the sunflower. So center is gonna be roughly there. There's kind of that weird dark spot that they have, and then we're just gonna go sort of around in a general idea with the petals. There we go, very cool. Okay, so I'm using Jacquard Dynaflow. I've got Sun Yellow, so this is the watercolor paint that I like to use. And I've got Bright Orange, and that's what we're gonna start with. We'll see where we go from there. So let's start with the Sun Yellow, and we're gonna block out the petals and the general shape of the sunflower. So we're gonna take this guy and let's fill her up. So if you've been following my other techniques, this is just like the other flower techniques, using a round. This is a round 11 brush, Artist Loft, good old Michael's brand. And you're gonna put the tip down, push, and release, starting outside, working in towards the middle. So tip, push, release. And just keep doing that all the way around the flower. Doesn't matter if it's perfect. We're just gonna keep working around. I love sunflowers. They're my favorite flower. I'm not really sure why. They just are so vibrant and so big. Growing up, my parents decided one year they were gonna grow some sunflowers, and they were insanely huge. Like, the stalks were literally this big around. My dad had to take a chainsaw to them to actually take them down in the fall because they were so out of control. The quails loved them. The mice loved them. Not so much my dad. Cool. Well, I'm in my my deck studio right now, finally, now that it's starting to be spring. And yeah, the Costco has been built over the winter since I moved in here, so now I get all the joys of the traffic and rage that Costco brings to your local neighborhoods. Okay, that's looking pretty cool. And we're just gonna fill in the middle too. Pretty, okay. Now, we're gonna use, we're gonna spice it up a little. Let's use cranberry red. This is a nice, pretty pink color. And I'm gonna sprinkle it on there a bit. This is a script liner, tiny little paintbrush, and we're just gonna kind of sprinkle it around. I like to have a bit of dynamic color, so we're just gonna add it in here, use the color to kind of block out the petals and the shadows of where the flower is. And of course, yellow and this color of pink to make a bit of an orange color. So keep that in mind when you're adding new colors to it. Remember your color wheel. It's important. Or you might find that you are not overly happy when it goes brown. If you do want to add an opposite color, make sure you wait till it's fully dry. So once this is dry, I plan on adding a little bit of a tealy blue color on top. And I'm going to be waiting until it's fully dry before I do anything like that. And it does take a little while to dry, so you are going to want to wait at least a few hours, like before you, like it's got to be dry to the touch before you can move on to a different color. That's pretty. I think I'm gonna leave it at that for now. Actually, I'm gonna add some midnight blue to the center part. Just because this is actually kind of like a purple color. And we're just gonna carve out sort of that. Really use it sparingly because it is a really dark color. And just add it to the parts that are gonna be really dark. Like right in here is probably gonna be a spot with some shadow. Good Lord, what is going on outside? And the thing with fabric paint is once you lay it down, there's no going back. So make sure that you don't overdo it right off the bat, because you'll have plenty of opportunity to overdo it down the road. I laugh, but I've ruined many pieces by doing this. So yeah, you know what? We're gonna leave it at that. Not gonna touch it anymore. And let's wait a little while until it's fully dry and you can touch it without smearing it or it being wet at all, really. And then we'll add the next layer on. Hello everybody, welcome back. So on this bag, I'm just going to now do a big sunflower coming off the side to kind of complete this nice bag that I'm making. I'm using the fabric paints, same fabric paints, Dynaflow, Sun Yellow again. We're pretty much just gonna do the exact same thing we did on the other side, and but bigger. And only like a quarter of the sunflower, I guess. So we're just gonna make sure that's nice and clean. It's already got a bit of yellow on it from the other side. And then again, we're just gonna block out the area where the sunflower is gonna be. So because I'm only going to the crease, we just want to make sure that we're not going too far over the other side. I just go right to the seam here, basically. This corner is going to be a little bit awkward. That's all right though. And I flipped over the puppy pad as well, just to make sure, again, that it's not seeping through to the other side of this bag. And again, we're just filling this in and then doing the big leaves. Making a big sunshine. This time we're gonna go over them a couple times so that the petals, leaves, my goodness, so that the petals are bigger. and more proportional to the flower. My daughter has a thing, she's 2, and she's got this thing with the Mr. Sun song right now, and it's so cute. I just love it. I'm just gonna fill in some of those little ones that are always hiding behind. There we go. And again, we're gonna take that cranberry red and we're just gonna do pretty much the same thing as what we did on the other side. Just gonna dab a little bit around, give it some pretty dynamic. And again with the small brush, creating the details while using this pink. Keeping it loose. It's difficult on these creases to get the details that you want. And again, I'm going to take that midnight blue and very sparingly add in the shadows. And I want there to be some more yellow drops as well. I want this side to have a little bit more impact, so I'm going to use a little bit more yellow. So pretty, love it. And you know, I think I kind of want to work into this with a little bit more orange. So I'm going to just take, this is a very, very bright orange, just like neon orange, and mix it in with yellow. I'm just gonna kind of work into the shades a little more here. And again, remember, you can't take color back, but you can always add more, especially with this watercolor stuff. So keep that in mind when you're adding colors, that you're not overwhelming it. And again, we're just gonna wait for that to dry fully. And I might add a bluey teal. We'll see how I'm feeling once this all dries. Alrighty. All right, before it gets dark outside here, I'm going to show you kind of the last step I'm going to do on this side. So firstly, I'm just going to add some more yellow droplets around, because I feel like there just wasn't enough. And as the final step, basically, I'm going to create the black outline and hone in on this design. So I'll move you in a little closer so you can see better what I'm doing. There we go. All right. So I'm using my script liner, loaded up with the black Dynaflow. And we are just gonna go ahead and add the details in. These can be line work, dot work, outlining, whatever you feel like you want to see in your design. If you don't like quite how impactful the black is, you can also use like a brown, so it's a little bit less abrupt, I suppose you could say. Personally, I like the contrast that the black gives as an outline. And you also don't have to outline it perfectly. I find that this gives it a neat little finishing effect. That contrast that I talked about earlier. So pretty. Love it. And again, just for the sake of balance, adding some black dots. Be careful when you're doing this that you don't splash your clothes, because majority of my clothes are coated in various colors of fabric paint. Now the last step that I like to do as well on this layer is I've got this Speedball fabric paint. Well, that's not holding in on that, but that's okay. And I mix it with the actual, with the dye, the Dynaflow, so that it takes on the same shade, and it just thickens it up. Okay. And then I use that to lighten up any particular spots that are feeling a little too, just a little too, what's the word? I guess maybe spots that I went a little too dark on or something like that. And of course, at your discretion, if you so choose, you can golden. This is, again, same brand, Speedball. To get it open. Ah. Oh my God, what the hell? There we go. Holy cow, that was difficult to open. And I use this quite sparingly. We'll just go in directly with white even. Because adding the white, then you can go back over with the yellow and it will take the yellow a lot easier, a lot better. See? Whenever I do this, I always go over the black bits again, just to make sure. Hello again. This is all fully dry now. So the last step we're gonna do to this side is we're just going to outline the leaves and finish it off. So again, I'm using my script liner. This is a number 2 script liner. And the black Dynaflow again. And we're just going to block out the petals. Wow, I didn't call them leaves. Getting better. Yeah, not a whole lot more to say about this, to be honest. We're pretty much done. Just gonna finish off these last details, and then again we will follow from the intro course. It's the exact same technique for heat setting it using the iron. So if you haven't already referenced that course, I would suggest going and signing up for it and learning about that. Just so that you can make sure that your beautiful design, whether it's on a shirt or whatever, dress, you can paint anything you want, bag like what we're doing here, then you can be rest assured that it's not going to get ruined in the wash or with any water exposure. Until it's been heat set, it will be vulnerable to water, so it's really important that you do that. Pretty. And again, just some little droplets. You know me. Love me some drippy drops. Cool. Now this layer is gonna dry super quick because it was nice and light. Flip it over, take a look at the other side here. Now this one I'm gonna go over again with my black liner. Make sure everything is just how I want it. And you can do as many or as few details as you'd like on yours. I find you don't even have to add the liner after if you don't want to, but I just find it really finishes the piece really nicely and gives it a nice complete sort of look. And sometimes the black can get a little faded, so you might want to do a second layer even over top of your black, depending on how detailed and how dark you want the shadows to be. Lovely, very pretty. And just as a final, I think I'm just gonna throw a little bit of blue, tealy blue. A little bit of tealy blue drops. Pretty. Love it. Yeah, so that is the gist of how I make my bags. And you can do whatever flowers or different designs you want. This bag I just got from Michael's. It's like $3. So go check it out. Check out the dollar store, check out Michael's, see, or whatever craft store you have nearby, and see what you can make. I'd love to see what you come up with. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Make sure to heat set your project and you are all good to go. You have a new shopping bag. Woohoo! Thanks for watching, guys. Have a great week. I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.